of the things we were seeing news about in the last decade were these companies that were saying, okay, we're going to have social media policies on the employees. We don't want our employees being social media stars because, well, if they've got these fears that their employees are going to take to social media and they've got a following and they're going to whistleblow, because the most dangerous people are the ones with a following. So this guy's out there chasing police officers around with a scanner, putting the pictures up on social media, sometimes being followed very closely by mainstream media journalists inside of newsrooms and having his pictures featured on the television. That's why they want to move away from that, and they want to encrypt all the radios across the country. Because you've got people like me. Well, I'm someone that's not just what the psychologist wanted for all of us, 5 intimate friends. You've got 5 intimate friends that all think in a way that's appropriate for their socioeconomic status. This is what we can afford. Things that are above us, we may walk by, but indeed, we're blinded to them. We don't see them in our periphery. We can't afford to go into a luxury restaurant that's expensive with food that's what they call gourmet. And if we can't afford a bidet in our master bathroom, we just don't think about those things. And that's what the acceptance movement was about. When my mom handed me this book, The 100 Simple Secrets of Happy People, when I was in middle school, when I threw the book at her, and I think I did throw the book at her. She got very mad. I threw the book at her because I read it, and it said, about a person. It was using an example of a person that if he doesn't become president of the United States, and he now is at this retirement party, 65 years old, and he's telling everybody, I'm not happy. He's everybody's saying you're such a great person, you've had such a great career, and he's got grandchildren. I'll procreate and make slaves for the capitalist instead of being the capitalist, instead of stealing from society because I deserve that money, because I don't want to have children that are not going to be able to have lawyers set them up at the age of 10 to have sex with Mariah Carey, and they'd end up screwed up in the head and having to take medications to just be the slave, not see the luxury restaurants out of their periphery, not argue for the bidet in the master bathroom and the trophy wife. So you have the children. Because I guess the reason why IQ there's so much difference is because the elites like it that way. This is the perfect slave to work at Walmart. I meant to own Walmart. I meant to have generations ago had my great-grandfather be Sam Walton. And that's why the dream, that I live in is that, some of the women I meet, these are secret Walton girls, and I'm going to marry the Walton family. Anyway, I digress. But the social media policies, they may find a way to try to subversively enforce them in a lot of cases. That's what we need to keep our eye on, because I don't believe that they should be increasing minimum wage. California, we're in a place where they did it. Fast food people that are fast. You have to be fast to work in fast food. You go into an In-N-Out burger, and I did, because you can use the bathroom there, and you just sneak out of there. I like to be courteous. I'm the kind of person that likes to have $100 bills on him, at least 5 $100 bills on a money clip, because when I want someone to do something for me, I talk about needing butlers. Well, it's great to have someone in place that's paid a lot of money for that when you want a well-done hamburger. Like Donald Trump is supposedly he ordered well-done hamburgers in his luxury penthouse there, and he had a guy named Anthony Senecal that would come and say, and then he tried to get him to eat a medium hamburger, and he did, probably on Anthony Senecal's birthday. Like, let's be nice to the butler. I'll try a medium hamburger today. But he's sitting back in his bed, and he's drinking Diet Coke, and he's got a hamburger, and he's drinking Diet Coke, and he's got a hamburger, and he tells me, you can go to McDonald's. So that's why I got to take to social media and say, no, I meant for the skyscraper. And the truth be told, the argument against, and people like janitors, people like housekeepers, people like, and I always comply with the contracts that I get into, because I have to make the contract, because I have to be ingenuous enough to because how dangerous I am. If I'm going to be a housekeeper, I would agree with the owner of the property not to put up pictures of the property or whatever, and that's just my separate life, what I have to do to make $17 an hour, to have the money to pay for these property information services and APIs so that I can get information out to people, tell my sad story to people, have them donate property to me, have them maybe give me their daughter instead of someone that was Marine Corps or more qualified. There you go. That's something you can do in America, and send out letters to people with concentrations of wealth to say, I should have been married into your family and I should own your properties. That's something you can do in America. And social media is something you can do in America. So the very people that need to be social media superstars in order to get money. Yes, by monetizing videos in some cases. And in my case, like when I write books, it's not to monetize it. It's not so that people buy the book, because these are the people that charge $30 for their book on Amazon. They want to make money off their book. That's what you have to, because no, I make a cent off of it. If anything, I make a cent off the book, because I say, it's more about getting the information out there. So people shouldn't have to pay more than $5 for a 200-page paperback by Matthew Ursula. But the very people that are going to be the biggest victims of, no, you can't be on social media in order to work for us, are the ones that need to be on social media, because this is how we get the money. It's not by raising the minimum wage. Like you're seeing movements all across the country. That makes things very bad. We shouldn't raise the minimum wage. We should say to these people, you have to become sales geniuses, create your own CRMs, and put your headshot on, like you're a realtor or something, put your headshot on postcards, put your headshot and say, I want your property, I want your wife, I want your daughter to marry me, I want all this stuff. This is what you have to do. So $17 an hour, or if you say, okay, minimum wage, we want to raise it to 26 by 2026, like the movement they had in Hawaii that Will Carone was all big about. And I was talking about him right here on this very train some years ago, before my 2.5-year incarceration in Nye County. And we have to be out there saying, this is the minimum wage, this is what I earn, I should be worth more, and getting people to agree and getting them to give us property. That's how we get our money. And I think it's much more lucrative, I think it's much more fruitful than having a collective agreement that my value should be this. And, like La Raza, we're going to band, like the unions, we're going to band together, and we're going to collectively, this hypnotic Borg of, I have value. Look, Bolasan, the Filipino one, Bolasan, Carlos Bolasan, America is in the heart, and so give me this much money for working at the cannery. No. It can't be that way. So the only way, since no wage that low, since it's not a six-figure income, if it's not a six-figure income, you're dead. I mean, you're looking at a dead man. I said, when Illuminati kills me, and I want you to think about it when you're investigating it, is it because of this? Is it because of this? Is it because I upset this religion? Is it because I upset this person? Is it because I said this about somebody? It'll be because of the rich girl with the family office. Rich girl did it to me. If not by killing me, then by marrying me, because then I won't be poor anymore. Like Jared Kush's job. Ivanka killed him. I'd like it to go that way. But these would be the ultimate victims of policies like this beginning to be enforced subversively. Is, look, we gave you everything. We're paying you $20 an hour. You all went to Sacramento and said you wanted a raise because you were fast food workers. People that work at In-N-Out Burger are worth so much. You move so quickly. You have a skill we have to praise higher. California said, yes, we're going to raise the fast food minimum wage. But that's not enough. That's not a living wage, because it's not six figures. It's not six figures. We need rental income. Yes. So companies have to agree. They give us shit. We are worthless. They'll never meet our minimum needs as individuals and as people. So part of the deal has to be that we're not just the people that have an obligation to them for 8 hours a day, which is a full-time job, but on the other 8 hours at least, we're somebody else. And they have no control over that, and that somebody else needs to be getting the six figures, because they're not giving us the six figures.